Welcome to Spacevidcast for Friday, August 14th, 2009. My name is Benjamin Higginbotham. With me is beautiful, lovely, wonderful, talented, and incredibly awesome Carrie Ann Higginbotham. We are your Spacevidcasters. We are but a few of the actual Spacevidcasters. Spacevidcasters growing, as it were. We've got additional people providing content, such as Jeff doing the podcast section. We've got BZ and just a ton of people that are starting to contribute to the community. So
yeah, helping out, contributing, it's awesome.
In addition, we've actually started not live, what am I talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
On-demand daily shows. You can check those out at spacevidcast.com. They're about 1 to 5 minutes or so each day.
Somewhere
and
in there.
Also available in our iTunes feed in both standard def and high def, so you can get it on your iPhone or your Apple TV, high def TV, whatever you want. They're pretty cool. They feature this lovely woman right over here.
NASA Man brings up a good point. How can you contribute? You can email me, Carrie-Ann at spacevidcast.com. If you're interested in contributing, we can work something out and figure out a place for you to go and make it happen.
We'll take your content or your money, whatever you want. Whatever you want to give us.
Or your dogs. We really like the dogs.
We'll take your dogs?
I don't know. Go on.
So no, I mean, that was pretty much it. We've got these new dailies. We've got a bunch of great new content going on the Spacevidcast website. And it's pretty cool to see the contributors of the site growing over time. So that's neat to do. All right, should we just get straight off into space news?
Yeah, I guess so, eh?
I remembered space news.
Space News.
All right,
Is that better?
That's
Okay.
better. The space porch is done.
Yeah. So this is a big deal.
Didn't we talk about that last week?
That it was done?
Well, I don't know, like the week before. Do they have a rocking chair on the space porch?
It's done now, though, because they brought it up, so we talked about it bringing it up, and then they install it. But now it's done. It's done. I learned a couple new things, so I guess that's why I wanted to add it in there.
Ready, go.
So on the porch. And for those of you guys who are not familiar, this, of course, is the module, the part of the Kibo module of the Japanese spaceport.
It's the outdoor portion.
Yes.
The outdoor portion.
Yes. And yes, like BZ's saying, the porch has its own robotic arm, which is so cool. I didn't even know that. So, right, so they don't have to do spacewalks to get stuff in and out or on and off of the porch. They can do it all from inside.
Well, that's the idea, is that it's the exterior module that they can do all these experiments without having to do these really complex EVAs and all this other fun jazz that they had to do before.
Right. Well, okay, so there's that. So it's got the robotic arm.
First man on Mars, he has a robotic arm on his porch, too.
Well, then, that's great. So, but the other cool thing is that the little parts, the little pots, I don't know, the little places where you put the experiment or what have you, is temperature controlled. So there's a heating pad and a cooling pad. So if they want to have it just open to the elements but not the cold part of it, they can do that, or they can make it colder. So
the vacuum of space but warm, or the vacuum of space but cold.
Right. I thought that was very
Zero
cool.
G or microgravity and warm.
Right. So it's a little bit different than just throwing something out the door.
That is kind of cool.
And now it's done, and so they can use it. And
that only cost us how many billions?
I don't know.
All right, go ISS, fantastic.
And Gawa. Okay.
Russia's, okay, this is an interesting story because we're going to show you a graphic. We'll show you a graphic of a rocket, and I'm just going to tell you that's not it. But Russia's building a new rocket.
Yep.
All right, moving on. So here's what's going on. The Space Race 2.0 is starting to heat up a little bit.
Right.
And
the U.S. will be able to hit any target in Russia by 2030. Russia said, oh, hell no. So they're getting together and they're figuring their stuff out, and they're like, by 2030, if, before, hopefully, 2030, we will be able to do the same to the U.S., which really for them should be a lot easier because the U.S. is so tiny compared to all of Russia.
Really tiny.
So, hop to it.
Oh, really? Is this about the Ares 5 and just the power behind the rocket where we can just pretty much go anywhere? Is that what they're worried about? Or is it more of an ICBM type thing?
Well, they're worried. They're developing an air defense system to avert the threat of the U.S. being able to just hit whatever it is that they want.
Didn't we already have Cold War? Didn't we finish the Cold War?
Yeah, but look at all the stuff we got done.
Well, yeah, we created a lunar program.
Break the wall down!
Oh, God. We created a space program that was unsustainable and has kept us in low Earth orbit for 40 years.
Yeah, well, we did something.
Well, that's true. We did make it to the moon and then never made it back. Go us. All right. So I don't know, it's kind of cool that they're building essentially a new rocket, a new propulsion, a new rocket.
Right. Well, it interested me because they apparently hadn't really thought about doing it before, and then they were like, wait, what?
Well,
what did America say? Oh, no.
But their rockets are actually quite good.
Yeah?
So, all right.
That should be interesting.
When you lose a tool bag in space, does anyone see it streak across the sky? Actually, the answer is yes. Yes, actually, you do see it streak across the sky.
As it's burning up in the atmosphere.
There's actually a video of it just streaking across. I think we've actually got that as tool bag vid. It's pretty cool. You can see it go right across. But yeah, it's coming back.
No, it came back.
Well, it's back?
It's back.
Well, is it
a fiery ball of nothingness?
Yes.
Is really what it is.
I'm not sure because it's nothing. Is it back or is it never to return? How does that?
Well, I'm not even going to go there. So, the thing is that for a while, if you were scouring on eBay or if you were looking for the lost tool bag, there was somebody on eBay who was selling the supposed found tool bag.
Oh my gosh, that is so brilliant! I need to do that.
And it supposedly got found somewhere in Minnesota.
That's because Minnesota is awesome.
How ironic is that? Because what's her name?
I was the one selling
Stephen
it.
Piper is from Minnesota. So this, of course, is the tool bag that was lost on 126 back in this last November. Poor Stephanie's outside. It's Stephanie, right? So it's Stephen Piper. Okay, so anyway, so she's outside and she's working and she goes like this, and then the tool bag goes over there, and she goes, crap. And
she was like, oh, shoot.
And the tool bag kept going, and she didn't. So coincidental, not ironic. Yes, I suppose.
Which is good. We don't want the astronaut to go after the tool bag.
Right, which she did think about. She said in a number of different interviews, I thought about jumping after it, but then I thought, then there would be two of us floating around in space. And that just would not be very good. But it has finally come back down, so you can stop looking for it up in the sky. It's burnt up and all that other fun stuff. So if you see or hear of anybody who's trying to sell any part of this tool bag, sue them. So it's about $100,000, yes.
Wow. Wow. You know what? I have a new business plan.
Yes.
I'm going to launch items into space,
yeah,
have them float around there, bring them back down to Earth and be like, look, space book. This book was in space. $100,000. Look, space phone. This phone was in space. It's $100,000. Look, space watch. You get the idea. And I actually took my watch off for that. I didn't even need to do that.
I don't know why you did
this
that.
This actually is a space watch. This is a Speedmaster Pro.
It didn't go into space.
It will.
It can.
It will.
That's the point, I guess.
So now that someone bought a tool bag for $100,000.
I hope they paid $100,000 for it, too.
They can send it back.
I hope they really did.
Really?
No, I don't know, but I hope they did, because I just think it's funny.
They can send it back to space via their own personal satellite.
For only $8,000.
Exactly.
How cool is that? TubeSat. What?
TubeSat?
What? That's a TubeSat.
That's the dumbest name ever.
Well, it's not my fault. TubeSat has a personal satellite kit for $8,000, which includes a free launch. How cool is that?
How does that work?
I don't know. I have no idea. So you can do anything from Earth to space video imaging, magnetic field measurement, on-orbit advertising, biological experiments, blah, blah, blah. But they will take care of the launch, so you don't have to worry about that. Oh, and batteries are included.
But so this might be kind of cool because they did the you doing a little I want a satellite dance.
I think it's cool.
It is cool. So if Spacevidcast wanted to throw a camera up there and do like Earth imaging, like real time live shot of the Earth, they could do that.
Yeah, except that it would probably burn up on the re-entry.
Oh.
And so then all of that footage would be for naught unless you want to Blair Witch it a little.
Oh, so this isn't like there's putting up a satellite and you can use it as a communication satellite. This is more like we'll put something into space and then.
Well, you can for a little bit, but it's designed when it comes back.
It comes back, it just goes poof.
Yes.
No, it's not in a.
It's going to poof.
It's not in an orbit. It's in a very decaying orbit, is what you're saying.
Right.
Super decay.
Right.
Oh, that's no good.
Right. That's no good. Well, it's only 8,000. I mean, really, I don't know what you expect.
Well, no, that's quite innovative though, because a launch of anything is at least $10 million.
You guys are saying something about SpaceX. TubeSat is using a Neptune 30 vehicle for the launching.
Hey, guys, help me out. Who's a Neptune 30? That's not SpaceX. I don't know who. Do they have their own launch vehicle then? I've not. Hang on.
I was unfamiliar with that, so I apologize.
Neptune
30.
Watch this. During the show, we're going to figure this out live right here.
Sweet.
Neptune, interorbital.com.
Yeah, heat shield on it, Mike. Absolutely. It's it's tiny. I mean, it's like, they have a picture next to a quarter, and it's not much bigger than this cup. Hey, OM.
So I don't actually have a graphic of the Neptune thing on the thing, so we're just going to try to, I don't know if this is even going to work.
Probably not.
We're going to, how's that work? That's the picture of the rocket right there.
How'd that go for you guys?
I
bet that was awesome.
Did that work for you? When we come back.
They're like, what's that blurry crap he's got going on over there?
Why did he just do that?
I have no idea.
When we come back, we'll be talking about, we got Spaceport America. We've got a couple of the daily shows. We'll be recapping
We've got some
of
news.
that.
We got some updates on the site, and we've got some promos for next week, too.
Some promos. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to the Crow River Coffee Company in Watertown, Minnesota. Situated on the bank of the beautiful Crow River, we offer espresso drinks, delicious food, live music, bulk beans, and artisan items. You can see us at crowrivercoffee.com. Thanks.
Hi, this is Jeff with your Space Podcast asking for your questions. Why do we never see the backside of the moon? Will the sun become a black hole? Leave your questions in the comments section. Keep coming back to Spacevidcast to hear my answers.
Oh my god. Oh, is it? All right. He'll bring me down. I'll see if I can't fix my audio. Any better?
Oh, man. Awesome.
Wow. That's a feature. Hang on. Bad mic. Bad comm. Any
Sorry.
better?
Apparently, I'll just have to. Why are we laughing? We're laughing because Jeff did not make that video. We did.
I had fun making that video. It was before the show. I had a few extra minutes. I'm like, Jeff is going to kill me.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. That was fun to do. But it's a true statement. Jeff wanted us to point out in this show, which we have now done, that if you send him your questions, he will answer them in his podcast that he's been doing. And you can check out the podcast section on the homepage of spacevidcast.com. And it's destroy them. It's
He will. I'm sure he will. I'm sure I'm getting PMs at the moment, and I'm just not even reading it.
Yeah, he's really good at answering those questions in a down-to-earth sort of way that makes sense, and analogies that you can understand. You don't have to be a rocket scientist, and he's not all hoity-toity about it. And he will stare at you like that, though. He will do that.
Can't wait to see you at ISDC, Jeffy.
Next week, before we continue our news, next week we've got a special in-studio guest.
Yes, in studio. As opposed to, see, Rick last week was kind of in studio, but he was more like peanut gallery.
Mm-hmm. He was like, yay, I'm awesome.
Right. We're going to have David Houselam, that's in the room. Mm-hmm. There he is going to be in the studio, physically sitting next to us. We will be interviewing him this way.
And we have no idea how that's actually going to work. We didn't design this show for that at all. So we're trying.
Not a clue.
We came in today, we're like, how is that going to, because it'll be fun.
It should be very interesting. And one of the reasons that we're having David on is because he wrote this very cool Twitter workbook that happens...
Twerkbook.
workbook, yes, of course, that happens to have a case study about and so we get to talk about Spacevidcast a lot and how I work all the different accounts and all that other stuff. And Mike, you were saying you don't understand Twitter, and I'm just going to send this one out to Mike.
Okay.
Because he said specifically he still doesn't understand it, and this is going to help you, I promise. And if it doesn't help you, you can send it back. How's that?
Well, this is a special copy, isn't it?
No, that's not our copy.
No, it's a signed copy.
Yeah, all of them are signed.
Yeah, cool.
Every single one of them. David is going to be in-house, and he has already signed them. I have already signed them.
I won't sign them because I'm not in it. Thanks, David.
Right, exactly. Well, you're just not as cute as I am. And we will personalize every single one of them. Mike, I will personalize this one to you. Email me your address so I can send it out to you. But it's much how like Jeff does his podcast. It's very down to earth. It doesn't talk down to you. It's very easy to understand. You are very welcome, Mike, and I think this will help a whole lot. And I'm case study number 8, in case you care.
Ooh.
You'll see it. I mean, it's not anonymous case study. You'll see my name and Spacevidcast and all of that other stuff. So I do have 5 others of these that I will be giving away throughout the week next week, Monday through Thursday. So that, again, we can personalize them and then send them out and all of that other stuff. So be on the lookout for that.
Those will be contests on our Twitter account, so make sure you follow Spacevidcast on Twitter at twitter.com/Spacevidcast for your chance to win 5 more copies of this signed book, by the way. You're winning not just a copy of the book.
Yes, signed by me and signed by the author, which is very cool.
Yep, so if you want a copy, you got to win it using Twitter, the medium in which
Oddfluence, we should talk.
We'll also be giving one away on the show next week.
Yes, we will.
And for anyone who doesn't win, you have to buy it.
Yeah,
awesome.
it's like $10, $15. I mean, yes, 15. You guys, you can go to Amazon.com and find it. It's called The Twitter Workbook. It looks like this. It's got a very cute little bird on it. It says "Follow me," or you can go to Barnes & Noble. You can pretty much get it anywhere. I think at this point, it's kind of infiltrated, and I even read it and I like it. Yes, 15 American, Brady. I apologize. $15 US.
I think we should continue with our space news, and you know what? Should we run the open again?
Might as well.
I think we should run the open again. So here you go. We're continuing space news.
Space news.
Yay! I love that. All right.
David's from the UK as well, so if he says it's on Amazon.co.uk, it's definitely there because I'm sure he made.
We're space newsing
made
now.
sure of that.
We've moved on. Moving on.
Moving on.
Spaceport. This is going to be a quick one. Spaceport America has a successful launch. They've just broken ground not that long ago on Spaceport America, and already they're like launching from trailers and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's like nothing out there because the way I always think about Spaceport America is that kind of really cool slick.
Yeah, this picture right here. The picture that's
yeah. Like I mean, how beautiful is that? That's not what it looks like.
Well, not yet.
No, not yet.
I mean, it will.
Right now, it's just desert, and they're just shooting stuff up from there.
Spaceport America is where they're going to be launching Virgin Galactic for the U.S. They've launched, what did they launch? I don't remember.
Up Aerospace Companies is what just launched. They launched a Moog FTS.
Moog.
Which I'm not, other than the keyboard, I have no idea what Moog is. But they did, so that's cool.
What's interesting is that
they're in business.
With these spaceports going up, especially like Spaceport America, we're going to be able to see, it's going to enable these launching companies to, for even less money, start launching these things, I think, because the infrastructure will be built for them. They just have to build a vehicle. So there you go. When does Virgin Galactic take flight?
They're hoping to complete the facility by early 2011. So probably right in there. I'm sure there will be some of these other smaller liftoffs from there.
Well, in the U.S., but I believe Virgin Galactic will be flying. I think they're trying to fly by 2010.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. I was thinking about Spaceport America.
You're right.
I want Spaceport America to be done by 2011.
Yep, so there you go. There's
there you
that.
be.
And then the last 3 news items actually were done in our daily. So if you've seen our daily,
go take a nap.
You can just leave.
We'll
You're
see
done.
you after
No
the
more.
show.
Thanks for coming. Methane on Mars. I don't want to say methane was found on Mars because we already knew there was methane on Mars.
Right.
Methane was unfound on Mars.
Yeah.
Defound.
Defound. I almost memorized it too. In late 2003, early
2004,
methane was found on Mars. And what's going on is that they were like, sweet, methane, great. right? And so then they had all these different projections about where the methane, it's in smaller pockets, and where the methane is, where it's going to go, where it's been, all of that other fun stuff.
Thought it'd be there for like 300 to 600 years, something like that?
Right, about 300 years within the Mars atmosphere, they figured the methane would be around. But as they started continuing to take measurements, the methane was leaving. And we don't know where it was going. And it was
way faster than they thought.
Like at a 600% rate, just 600 times faster than it should have been. So we're just really not sure where it's going or anything like that. And like it's been pointed out, methane is the two main things that make methane are life forms, like cows and us, and volcanic activity. But we're really not sure exactly where it's coming from quite yet. And we really don't know where it's going, and that's a little disturbing.
It could be going up and out. It could be getting absorbed back into the ground.
Right.
I mean, that's a possibility.
Which would be interesting, and that would, when we're talking about trying to, I don't know, grow
colonize?
Crafts. Yeah, there we go. Colonize on Mars. For some reason, I was trying to think of the Star Trek. It doesn't matter. Anyway.
Thanks, Colton. That's great.
Yeah. So, and when we, trying to think of growing crops and stuff on Mars, the methane would have to be taken into effect not just in the atmosphere, but possibly also in the soil. So it's just an interesting thing to sort of watch out for. ESA and NASA have joined together to try and figure out what's exactly going on there.
I think the aliens are just farting, and then they turned on their fans, and
well,
they're
and
like, ooh, that
somebody
smells.
made the mention of methane itself doesn't smell, and no, it doesn't. However, when it mixes with different things like, volcanic ash, it does smell.
Yep.
So, some people are saying,
Badly.
well, it would smell a whole lot, and other people are, it won't smell at all. It'll smell.
Once we get
Space
there,
smells. Jeff, that was for you, by the way. Jeff, space smells.
Space smells. Once we get there, we're going to need some way to drive around on the Martian surface, but since we're not going to Mars right away, we're going to the moon. We need some way to drive around on the lunar surface, and we built these lunar tires from like piano wire back, in the 60s and 70s, but that is just not cool. The way we do it now, we like to do it bigger and badder.
Well, yeah, we kind of need to. So the original tires back in the Apollo era had that kind of cool accordion sort of thing on the inside, and on the outside was sort of a spun aluminum, is what I was told. Kind of, you were saying piano wire, that sort of thing.
Type thing.
Right. So
they didn't take actual piano wire.
But that would be cool, wouldn't it?
At least I don't think.
So it worked for the purpose of what it needed to do. Does that make sense? I mean, we only needed to go out so far. We didn't really know how far we could go. Our air tanks only would let us go out so far.
Correct.
All of that other stuff. So it got us to where we needed to go back in the day. But if we're talking about colonizing the moon and making like cities and having to go from here to all the way over there in one shot,
Warehouse district.
not having to come back, you're going to need something that's going to be durable enough to do that. And so NASA put out a bid, and oddly enough, Goodyear, the tire and rubber company, won the bid. And what they've made has no rubber in it whatsoever. So I'm not really sure how
Way to go.
That was awesome. They didn't even use their own product. But there's 800 hand-woven springs. And if you haven't seen the video, you really should. You can go to NASA.
The world's most expensive tires.
It's got to be. It's
Oh,
got to be. Because you
man.
have to hand roll them. But it's very cool. And the really neat thing is that because they're springs, that there's less energy used because a lot of the energy gets retained or reused, if that makes any sense. So it can go over something and it'll sort of flatten out, but after it comes off of that object, the springs
energy.
kind of, spring back into place, which is very cool. One of the issues that they had with the original tires is that the way that they were being used actually caused a lot of heat, and that was hurting all the different mechanisms. This will cause a lot less heat, so they don't have to worry about that as much, which I think is very, very cool.
As mentioned in the chat room that you want to get them on your car, I want them too, actually. Wouldn't that be cool? Like a little bling bling on your car? Like, oh, what kind of tire do you have? I have the lunar tires on my car. How about you? Yeah.
Yeah, they are hoping that the technology will somehow be able to be translated to vehicles on Earth. So
that could potentially be a pretty good snow ice tire.
I think, exactly. I think it won't be a regular street tire because of the springs and on concrete or asphalt.
But being
stuff
Minnesotan, I can
but
appreciate
being
a good.
Minnesotan, yeah,
I could
we
appreciate
can,
a really good snow
I'd
ice
like to
tire.
take that out on the lake, eh?
Oh
yeah,
up by the cabin on the lake,
that would be great.
You betcha.
Okay, so anyway, that's kind of what we're thinking. So that would be very, very cool. You might be able to get that inside and put the rubber on the outside. I don't know. I'll write to Goodyear and let them know my thoughts.
I would like your lunar tire on my car, please.
That was the other thing. Thank you, Ken, for actually saying that. The other neat thing about this is that the way that the tire is made, because of all the different springs and because they're woven together, you can actually break a number of the springs and the tire will still work. As opposed to the Apollo thing, if you break one of the little schmoinky things or you get a hole in the nesty part, you're done for. I mean,
You got to jack it up, take half the tire, bring it back down, call AAA, no good.
Right,
Because
right.
AAA service to the moon, like one of those moon
Really
cards.
expensive.
Wow.
God,
They
it's
charge
just-
you, it's like $100 billion. Jeez.
like an arm and a leg. Yeah, so there's a lot of different benefits, and I'm really excited about it. And it's been tested out in the Rock Yard at JSC, which Colton mentioned that he's about a half an hour away from there. Go there.
what
Would
the
you
heck?
freaking take some pictures for me, please?
What
You're
the heck?
killing me here.
Go there, go play. Play in the rocks. I want pictures of this tire because this tire seems really cool.
Very cool.
Speaking of rocks,
Rocks.
we've got some on sale.
Rocks for sale.
Rocks, meteorites. The collector, is it Richard? I don't remember his name now.
No, Robert.
Robert, thank you.
Robert Elliott is the UK's largest private collector of meteorites. He very well might be the largest private collector in the world, but I couldn't substantiate that. So I wasn't sure. So this guy in the UK.
You know what? I think
collects
we should
whole
make a
bunch of them.
factless and baseless claim right here, right now.
Truthiness.
Truthiness,
If
exactly.
you say it, it
Yep.
shall be.
Pet rock number 2, the space rock.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Oh my goodness. So Robert is decided to put his stuff up for sale. It's going on August 18th.
Did he say, but I never asked this question, did he say why he's putting it up for sale?
No, but he did very specifically say that he wasn't going to stop collecting.
Because he'd been doing this since he was a boy. And
Yes,
so
he started
why,
off when he was very young. At the back, this is so great. I don't know if you ever read like comic books or like Mad Magazine and stuff like that. At the very back, they always had the send away for X-ray glasses and stuff like that. One of them was for some meteorite, and that's how he got his first one. And he just thought that was very cool, and then continued to do it. And in the last 13 years or so, he's gained more and more. He's found more pieces, and he's obviously gotten more money because he says as soon as he hears of something, he just hops on a plane and goes over there to try and find himself some space rock.
that would be nice to be able to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Although, did he say, he didn't say private jet, right? It's
He
just
did not say private jet. He said
good.
hops on a plane. So,
Okay.
I'm not really sure what's going on. But there are some very notable pieces. One piece, the Hambleton piece, which is huge. It's 5.8 kg. What is that, kilograms?
Kilograms.
Okay. It's big.
It's big.
When
It's
he holds
like-
it, it's like this. That's expected to go for, easily $1 million on its own. Hundreds of thousands of
That's the one
dollars.
that has the element in it that had the mineral that had not been found before?
Right. There's a mineral in it that no one has seen before. So that kind of makes it even that much more.
The awesome.
Yeah, very, very cool. So he just
About
likes
10 pounds,
collecting,
thank you.
and thank you, Beezy.
Stupid Americans.
It's big, I know. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so that was that. But he's got pieces from different parts of the moon. He's got stuff from the Vesta asteroid, pieces from Mars, all kinds of stuff.
Mom
all
asks,
kinds of stuff.
my mom asks, how do you know it really came from space and not just the desert? Well, generally they crash down to Earth in a fiery ball of doom.
I can answer some of that, though. Some of these meteorites are, which makes them a little bit more valuable, is my understanding, is what they call seen. So they were watched falling from the sky down to Earth. They're watched events, or they're seen events, and that makes them a little bit more unobtainium. Yeah, pretty much. There is one other thing I wanted to mention really quickly. He also has a piece of one of the oldest meteorites known on Earth from the Lake Murray meteorite, which was found.
It's not very big. That one's
It's
a
tiny.
couple
It's-
quarters size.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
the thing is that this meteorite, it's been carbon dated. It's over 110 million years old.
Mom Dog, you don't
Crazy.
pick up the meteorite right after
Not right
it
away.
falls.
Not
you can let it
Superman. You
cool.
wait for it to cool off a little.
Yeah.
Throw some water on it, maybe.
So
make that go.
we thought that was an interesting story just because you can own a little bit of space, and that's one of the fun little things we do is we go to the space store, we enter in promo code SVC, I think it is, and that gets you like 10% off.
Yes, I do.
So you can do that. We don't get any of that, but then the space store knows that Spacevidcast sent you, so certainly do that. And you can buy your meteorite, you can buy a bit of the moon, you can buy a bit of the moon, you can buy a bit of Mars.
And a chunk of meteorite.
A chunk of meteorite, and the biggest chunk you're going to get is of meteorite.
Yes,
I believe.
it's going to be.
And the pieces of everything else are quite literally a speck